Hi, and welcome to another episode of Can't Stop the Growth. I'm your host, Chad Peterman, and today we have a very special guest. As we were talking before we started recording, has an amazing story to share, and one of my favorite people here at the company, due to his attitude and just willingness to always be getting better. Today on the show, we have Joey Utley. Welcome to the show, Joey.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. Joey, let's start out by giving the listeners a little bit of your background, kind of how you came to Peterman, what you did before, and then what you're doing now.
Well, started in the HVAC field about 15 years ago. Was in apartment maintenance and looking for a change. Found Peterman. Found the reviews actually, interviewed, love everything I heard about the company and about the plans for the company. Was eager to jump on board and was given that opportunity roughly 3.5 years ago. Started as an HVAC technician. Thereafter transitioned into the role of our home performance manager. Helped you to get that department up and off the ground. Then thereafter that transitioned into the role of what I would call excavation sales, doing sewer lines, water lines, perimeter drains, such there. And almost 2 years now doing that, and don't plan on looking back and just plan on looking for the future.
Awesome. Yeah. So Joey's a quick version of his story. I think what can be underappreciated is that you don't often see, we see people switch from trade to trade or position to position, but I don't know that we've seen or seen very few people. I can think of a few, but I've seen very few people make the transition and have the level of success that you've had at really everything you've done here, which has been one of those things that has just been fun to see. What would you say have been some of the keys as you've transitioned into, I would say the most notable was from home performance, where you're getting in people's attics, to sewer sales, where you're out in their front yard digging it up and stuff like that. What are some of those keys that you look at from a personal perspective that you feel like have made you successful regardless of what the role is?
I just want growth, just always trying to get better, learn new things. If you're not learning on a day-to-day basis, then what are you really doing, honestly? So as I transitioned, I just kept my ears open and wanted to learn everything I could and be the best I could be, not only for myself, but for the company. And took everything that was shown to me or taught to me and applied it, and continually looked to advance my knowledge on not only sewers, but speaking to people and just offering, I guess, great customer service.
Yeah, I think what you said there at the end is the customer service piece. One of the things that I think is from my perspective that's made you very successful at what you do is your love for customer service and making sure that people are taken care of. Speak to me a little bit about kind of the approach that you take when going into someone's home, especially now with in excavation sales. A lot of the times you're going into someone's home that is taken by surprise, if you will. They weren't aware maybe 24 hours ago that they had such a drastic issue that they're going to need to fix. What do you try to do as it relates to the customer to kind of settle that anxiety, make sure that they know that they've chosen the right company, so on and so forth?
Yeah, first and foremost would be that customer service. Most often, they're having the worst day, of their week or of their year, of their life. when nothing's flowing and they're looking at, potentially needing a new sewer line. So whether it be, you know, stuff in their basement or out in their front yard, they are having a bad day. So number one, we're here to help. We're here to give you the options and make you have a better day, or not make you, but help you to have a better day, and provide you solutions to resolve your issues in a timely manner, and let you know that I'm there to help you in any way. I make it a point to let them know, when I enter the home, that above all else, I want to give that 5-star customer service. And if they're not having that today, let me know and we can change it however they need it to change. If they need me to slow down, if they need me to speed up, if they need me to, bring the kids in, the dogs in, whatever it is, it's about, the family that we've created here to bring that customer into our family. And if we can just show them a little bit of compassion, it eases their tension, and it lets them know that I'm truly genuine in wanting to help their issues. And then, we just go down the road from there. They tend to, you know, drop that wall, I guess you'd say, open up. You get to hear tremendous stories about family and friends, or about how, my cousin used Peterman and they recommended you. And then, it's just the love starts pouring in, I guess you'd say, once you get to talking to them. So
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's that care and compassion, that empathy that we try to show each and every customer, is really something that, it I don't know that I think it can be taught, but there's also a part of each person that makes them successful with kind of how they're wired. I've always looked at you and looked up to you in the care and compassion that you take for the company. I've always said if I could send everybody that comes in the building out with you, you'd be one of my first choices to send them with, so that they understand what it is about here. What about the company has attracted you and really resonated with you and your own personal values, that makes you so passionate about this place?
um, I mean, I would honestly say it was a couple years ago. My daughter has a genetic nerve disorder. We'll just say it like that. Actually, speaking to another employee, got recommended to Shriners in St. Louis. Within 2 weeks, we were there, um, and they wanted to do surgery. Had no plans on that. We thought we were going away for a day, and I called, I believe it was Tyler, and he said, "Do what you got to do, and we'll figure it out." A couple days later, we were back in Indy. She was doing well, but just the families first, kind of attitude right then and there. If I hadn't already loved Peterman, it was you know beyond what I could even express. It was take care of your family and we're going to figure it out. When you come back, you're going to, still be in the position you're in. And there's nothing that we're going to do, different, so, and then, since then, countless trips there, but, Peterman has always had my back. So I felt, I need to return that favor, I guess. I mean, it sounds funny, but I mean, it's a loving relationship right there. You've always looked out for me, so of course I'm going to look out for the best interest of my coworkers, my managers, the company in general. So
Yeah, well, I appreciate you sharing that story, and the compliment, with how my brother handled that. And I think we talked about this on a previous episode, is really a leader's responsibility, their number one job is to care about those that they lead. And I think that's something that my dad taught us very early on. There were, as in life, and growing up in the business, there were always circumstances where someone's family was affected, in countless ways. And I think that we watched him handle that in a very similar fashion from day one, and something that we've tried to carry on. Business is great and growth's awesome and all of those things, but at the end of the day, just do what's right. It's very easy to do, yet sometimes difficult to execute. It seems for some. So I think that's the one leadership lesson that I continue to reiterate is your ability and effectiveness as a leader is really predicated on the simple things. It's the care and compassion that you have for others, and I think you've demonstrated that in leadership roles. You've demonstrated that with the customer as well. What would you share as you continue to grow and develop and kind of fine tune your craft? What are some of those things that you would say have been key in kind of your development? You mentioned learning earlier. What are the other things or resources that you continue to utilize to continue to get better?
I mean, I'd say podcasts just like this, stuff you've put out, Grant Cardone. I mean, there's hundreds of people out there that can help you to get better on whether it's fitness, mentally, tactics on what you're using for your job. I mean, just constantly wanting to learn and improve yourself, and then to have great team around you that also wants the same thing. You can learn from those peers next to you. I'm fortunate enough for the past couple of years that, like you said, I'm able to train. I'm able to help those around me, to learn our process, to learn everything that we do here at Peterman. And by doing that, I learn a lot. So the people that ride with me or that shadow me, they have helped me. All the pieces that have been put in place in our, I guess, command chain, as you would. Sorry, old Army reference, but yeah, I mean, just those around you and those above you that are always wanting you to learn and help you in any way, and then you can help those around you. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I appreciate you sharing that. And I think too is extremely an important piece. We have a lot of people, and I think you're a great person to have on and bring up this topic of people who want to advance, people who want to go to that next level, who want to be a manager, who want to do all of these different things in their career. And that's wonderful. I love that. I'm in that group. I want to do something more this year than we did last, and so on and so forth. And never really feeling like you've reached the top of that mountain, just always scratching and clawing for more. And I think you bring up a great point of it's not what we do on a daily, day in, day out basis. It's that extra work that's ultimately going to propel you to the next level. To go in and work your normal day, and then expect at some point in time you to be ready for the next challenge is going to be challenging in itself, because more than likely there are other people putting in that day's work. It's the people who are putting in that extra. It's the podcast that you're listening to in between calls to, center yourself after a bad one or even a good one, and getting ready for that next customer or whatever that looks like. What would you say has been key as it relates to sales? So I would say in kind of the sales realm, you are one of our top performers. And you mentioned a few things earlier. What else would you say has been key to when you go into a customer's house, being effective with that customer, and making sure that they're well taken care of? What would you say are some of the key things that you look to hit on when in that customer's home?
I mean, first and foremost, I think you hit on it is, anybody can listen to the radio between calls or in the morning, but it's that reset. Anybody can have a bad day. or a bad week, bad month, whatever it is. But um, in between calls, it's your time to reset and think about that next customer, and how they're again having a bad day. So, you arrive, and number one, first and foremost, let's take care of the problem, but beyond that, let's build a relationship. Let's show them that we are not the average company, and we don't ever plan on being that average company. So when we get there, it's, let's find out the issue. Let's, talk to this customer. Let's resolve anything we can while we're there. And let's ask them, every time I ask the customer, is there anything I could have done better for you? Is there anything you need? Here's my card, call me. Even if you have any questions about any of our other services, give me a call first, and I can help you in any way. And I make sure to make that a point to them, that I can be a point of contact for them on anything they need. And I have customers that'll call me from a year ago. Hey, I need an HVAC service technician over here. My furnace is sounding funny. And then, all right, great. Give me your name and number. I'll call the office. I'll give you a call here in just a little bit, and it's just small relationships like that I think set us apart, set myself apart. I would hope, to help that customer to just know that somebody to lean on. So
Yeah, absolutely. The two things that I think that are just extremely, extremely important from what you just said there, that I think really resonate as it relates to leadership, is that, you talked about a reset. And I think in a leadership capacity, whether it's leading ourselves like you referenced, or leading a group of people, is being present. It's very tough to lead when our mind is elsewhere, when we are, stuck in our phone or an email or whatever it is. It's how can we be present for our people, and people can feel that. And more than likely, that is a huge key to your success, because a number of the things that you've touched on are definite ways to demonstrate that you are present for that customer. You're not thinking about, the big ticket, or, how to sell them something. You're thinking about being present, being there for them, in this, what you referenced as a terrible day. It's not good. I think the other thing is above and beyond. You mentioned that, really diving in with the customer, and understand, and making them understand that we're going to go above and beyond what any normal company would do to make sure that they are satisfied. And I think in leadership, that's the other thing that we have to think about, that we sometimes don't, because we get stuck in the mindset of, I'm the manager, do as I say. Well, no, it's not do as I say. It is, how can I support you? How can I, as a leader, go above and beyond to make sure that everybody on my team knows that I care about them, I support them, I want to see them grow, I want the very, very best for them. And what usually happens is we get a positive result on the back end. We get people who trust us, people who want to take our advice. And at the end of the day, whether it be sales or leadership, it's all the same. We're always trying to create trust in that relationship in order to move something forward, in order to help someone else out. You go out every day and help people with their sewer issues, or they got a leaky water line, or whatever it is. And it's not about selling. It's about creating a relationship. And I think that if we take that mentality into our leadership as well, it's not about getting the job done. It's not about, a higher average ticket, or conversion rate, or, how much revenue you generated this month. It is, what is the power? How would you rate the relationship that you have with your manager? Because I have a feeling, and what I've seen is, the better that is, the more that we're doing from a management perspective in creating those relationships, the better our departments, the better our companies are going to do. It's when we lose sight of that and we push revenue or average ticket or what, those are all great goals, no doubt. But the only way to get there is for that individual contributor who's out on the front lines to understand what that means and why they're doing that. And I think that's just so very powerful. Whether, like I said, whether it be in sales or whether it be in a leadership capacity. What as we kind of wrap up here, Joey, what are some things that you would leave for? I look at you as a person who really the sky's the limit. You're on a rocket ship for success from here to who knows when. What are some of those things that you would tell? What are some of that advice that you would give people who want to get on that path with you?
I would honestly say, I mean, don't settle for second place. I mean, if you want to be the best, do everything you can to be the best. Michael Jordan wasn't great because he sat at home watching TV. He got out and shot free throws and did layups. It's the same thing in anything you're doing. If you want to be a great HVAC technician, then you've got to study. You've got to know models. You've got to know wiring diagrams. If you want to be a great plumber, you've got to learn codes. You've got to see the newest water heaters, the newest technology that's out there. In sales, you've always got to be fine tuning your craft, the way you speak to people, your demeanor, and that just goes for anything in life. If you want to be the best, then you've got to strive to be the best. You have to make those changes in yourself and always want to get better. And you can't be closed-minded. You have to learn something new every day, and you have to look towards the future. Everybody's going to have a bad day. That's just, part of life, but it's what you make of it and how you respond and how you react and how you move forward. That's going to get you to that next step. So I would tell anybody, in the industry or anybody in life in general, just keep pushing forward. Don't look back. You can't change the past, but you can definitely change your future. So.
Preach. Yes. I love it. That's fantastic. And no doubt why you are seeing this success that you've been seeing. We couldn't be happier for your success and just really as I said earlier, just looking for any way possible that we can support you and continue to move forward together. So I think that as you put it in your Michael Jordan references, that there is a choice that has to be made. You can make the choice to be just clock in, clock out, or you can make the choice to be something more. And that more is associated with more work, more effort, more learning, more studying, whatever that is that's going to take you to that next level. It's just a matter of if you're willing to do it. And I think that we have to understand, why do we want to move there? And then be okay with understanding what it's going to take to get there. So often I see people that, are frustrated by where they're at, but yet they're not willing to put in the level of work needed to move forward. And the cool thing about life, and what I've came to understand, is the hill is not that hard to climb. There are far more people that are satisfied with being okay out there. So it's literally picking up a book and reading 10 pages a day. It's listening to that podcast. I mean, literally listening to a podcast while you're driving around, especially if you're in our industry, you're in the car all day. Like, what a great time to get better and not even really have to exert any more effort. But how much better can you get if you're listening to inspirational or a podcast where you can learn how to use different techniques or whatever it may be to be better at your job and to be better for your customer than listening to the radio and them talking about, God knows what. My wife makes fun of me all the time. She's like, you literally have no connection with the outside world. I'm like, why would you? It's just full of bad news and bad stuff and this, that, and the other. It's like, or you can surround yourself with, as you talked, people that are striving to get better, resources that are going to make you better. Just a lot of great stuff in there, Joey. I really appreciate you being on. Hopefully the listeners got something out of this. Whether it be sales or leadership, everything is about the same. It's about caring about those that you're taking care of, whether that be the people on your team or your customers out there. So again, Joey, thank you for being on. Thank you for sharing a little bit of your knowledge. We are excited about what the future holds. Listeners, I hope you got something out of it. For Can't Stop the Growth, that is yet another episode with one of our fantastic Peterman team members. Until next time, have a great day out there.